How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another and the last preseason FPL video, because the next video is going to be a VOD of the live stream, and we're continuing the Team Watch series with the last episode with Wolves, the last team that we have yet to cover in this preseason. We're going to take a look at their attacking assets, their defensive ones, and what they've been doing in the transfer market to help strengthen their squad. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Also, drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any FPL news, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch. You can join us live and exclusive on Twitch this season for our preview deadline and any impromptu FPL streams. And our next stream is tomorrow. There'll be a pinned comment down below to let you know the link as well as the time for that stream as well. Now, without further ado, let's look at Wolves' attacking assets for this coming FPL season. Now, with Raul Jimenez being out for what looks to be around 8 weeks on the sidelines with an injury, we have to look to cheaper alternatives in the Wolves attack, and a lot of speculation and kind of FPL managers kind of colliding together and basically realized that Pedro Neto is kind of good, and he has shown that he, especially in preseason, can prove to be the guy who can play through the middle by himself. He can also play in a front two. He can play on the left in a front three. He can play on the right in a front three. He's very good at pretty much all those positions, and it seems like a lot of the play has gone through him. And at 5.5 million, I just think he's too hard to pass up on. I think, even for his stats for an underperforming Wolves team last season when he had that long-term injury, came back, I mean, his stats are pretty good. 2 big chances, 7 chances created, 4 shots inside the box. He does a little bit of everything. And for a 5.5 midfielder that has Leeds away, Fulham at home in the first 2, I don't think you can complain about that. And I also think that with the Spurs away fixture, he's also more likely to you can just put him on the bench. He's 5.5 million. The likes of Andres Pereira has Brentford at home, who is a 4.5 million midfielder that most of us are going to start with, playing the number 10 role for Fulham. Again, an easy swap out there. There's also another option in that price point, though, with Daniel Podence, who could see the mantle as the number 9. We have yet to see kind of what Wolves are actually going to do. However, the system change to a 4-3-3 may see the likes of Podence play through the middle, or at least one of those front positions, and depending on who gets all the chances, he could actually be better than Pedro Neto. They are a similar price point. I think you just pick one, and you just go for it, basically, in the opening 2 game weeks, and then see how it pans out. Wolves are probably going to see more attacking play with the change in formation. I think that's what Bruno Lage wanted to do the whole time last season, but just didn't have the personnel to do so. Unfortunately, with Raul Jimenez being out, that probably leaves the kind of striker mantle potentially to Hwang, who's coming at a 6 million forward. He could potentially be someone who we look to as a budget option when Wolves have a really good run of fixtures, if Jimenez is still out or just not looking as ideal. In preseason, I think Neto is the one to go for. He looks to be the most involved, and typically the most involved players, talismanic sort of players, are the ones you go for early on because they just look to be the most active. Same thing with last season for like West Ham as an example. I saw Antonio and Benrahma linking up really well. I went with both of them, and they got a goal and assist in the first 2 games of the season. It's just one of those things where you look at a player and you see, hey, look, they're getting all the action. Same with Gabriel Jesus for Arsenal, just another player that looks to be involved in basically everything. And these sorts of players are crucial in FPL because they're going to be in and around the returns pretty much game in, game out, creating things or scoring the goals for their teams. Now, let's take a look at Wolves' defensive options, because they definitely need to improve defensively. They kind of relied on Jose Sa, so let's see if they have any defensive options for us for the opening start of the season. Now, traditionally, Wolves have been known as a more defensive-minded team, typically setting up in a back 3, playing either a 3-4-3 system or a 3-5-2 traditionally. That was at least under Nuno Espirito Santo and what they did last season, but they've had a bit of an inconsistency in that, and it seems like they're looking to reform themselves, and they've done quite well, I think, in preseason to kind of resurrect that, as well as moving to more an attacking style of play. Jose Sa will be an ever-present in goal, and I think for 5 million in the opening 6 to 7 fixtures, looks to be one of the best goalkeepers that you can get at that price point. In terms of defense, there's some very good options in there. Johnny and Ait Nuri look to be the starting fullbacks going forward for Bruno Lage's system. I think Johnny, who was very successful for at least me as well as a few other FPL managers that took a punt on him, know that he's very good attacking-wise. Now, whether that will change because he's not in the wing-back system, that is yet to be determined, but I think he could provide good value at 4.5 million. If Wolves are still the same old stubborn Wolves where they can just keep the ball out of their net for 60 minutes and then they go nick one on the counter-attack and then shut up shop, they could prove to be quite good FPL assets. We've seen that Ait Nuri and Johnny are both very good delivery-wise. They're also very good in terms of, defensively, and they could be one of these kind of sleeper picks that are 4.5 million that we're looking at all these flashy, extravagant attacking wingbacks, and we could just get some for a much cheaper price, especially with Leeds away, Fulham at home. Don't expect too many goals going in there for Leeds and Fulham, and Wolves could keep them out and get 2 clean sheets on the bounce, which could provide excellent value at 4.5 million. If I had to pick, though, I would say Johnny's probably the better of the two. I just think he just pops in the box a little bit more often and just seems to have that know-how when he's in and around the area. He's also pretty good on set pieces in terms of like attacking it with his head and getting on the end of things as well. For Jose Sa, I think you know what you're going to get, basically. 5 million, he's going to make some saves. If he gets 2 clean sheets in the first like 5 or 6, that's probably about what you can ask for. Although the first 2 game weeks look very hopeful of a double clean sheet. So if you went with the likes of Sa and Johnny, and you had, 3 bigger defenders, let's say a Trent, a Robertson, and a Cancelo, and then your 4th defender was like a Johnny, and then Jose Sa was your keeper, and you went with like a 4-4-2 system, I can see that being quite successful, given the fact that Wolves could be even more frustrating to basically attack against this season, now that they're looking to be much more solid in midfield with a midfield 3 base, and eventually be much more advanced up the pitch and much more front foot, as it were, with their kind of fluid attacking front 3 now that Jimenez is injured, and they could just go to more of like the, not necessarily a false 9, but basically a bunch of players that can overload a midfield and still create the numbers that you need that a back 3 with wing backs would provide in midfield. So let me just think down in the comments below what Wolves defensive assets are looking like in preseason. I haven't looked at them a crazy amount, but I think they look pretty good. So now let's take a look at what Wolves are doing in the transfer market to help strengthen their squad. Now, Wolves haven't had the most extravagant transfer window, let's just say that. I mean, they have shored up a couple of different positions, and maybe their slight style of play doesn't necessarily warrant a crazy amount of transfers to be brought in. They have brought in Collins from Burnley. He's going to be a 4.5 million defender in FPL, and will probably play centre-back alongside maybe Cody or someone like that in the center of defense in a back 4. Can also play in a back 5 as well. He's going to be very good on set pieces. £20.4 million is pretty expensive for a defender who is coming from a team that's just been relegated, which is a fairly hefty price in my opinion. But he could be fantastic for Wolves, and maybe that's the player that they want him. Maybe a little bit of English tax there. I think he's English anyway. Could be a bit of what's going on there. Hwang, who is actually on loan from RB Leipzig, has finalized his move and now is going to be fully cemented in Wolves' team. And it's going to be probably pretty important now that Jimenez is out injured. 6 million in the forward line. He could be quite valuable, actually, if he's playing week in, week out for Wolves and they have a good run of fixtures off the start. Could be something that we need to consider, maybe. Maybe people are overlooking Hwang just because the likes of Neto is 5.5. Maybe Hwang gets a bit more of the chances and we could shift to him. And then also Sesko as well from RB Salzburg. Manchester United are also interested in looking at him as well. He could maybe be the late kind of window kind of transfer signing now that Jimenez is out for a significant period of time, to whereas they need to kind of look at this possibility as well. But one to watch out for. And then in terms of the outs, Fabio Silva's gone out on loan. Ruben Vinagre has gone over to Sporting Lisbon and has been loaned actually back to Everton in the Premier League. And then longtime center back Roman Soyah, the set piece master himself, has gone over to Besiktas, who is in the Turkish league, so he won't be in FPL anymore. I remember a few games where Roman Soyah would get the clean sheet and a header off a corner, and those used to be quite good. He was actually very good at defending as well as attacking set pieces. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. I think Wolves need to strengthen in attack. I think they need some type of forward of some kind, whether it be a versatile forward or a striker. And I think that maybe an adaptive, attacking-minded midfielder that could go alongside Gibbs White maybe could potentially be on the cards. And if they were to lose Ruben Neves late on in the window, they would need a replacement in the box-to-box midfield role or as a number 6 as well. Because the likes of Matinho, Dendoncker, and Neves, if they're going to play week in, week out, that's going to put a lot of strain on the midfield, so they need someone to come in there and potentially alleviate some of that pressure. So I think they need to reinforce there. But let me just think down in the comments below, and that's going to do it for Wolves' transfer section.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Scout members area, the one place that you need to be tuned into for the upcoming FPL season. It has a wide variety of resources and tools that will help improve your FPL game today. It has a bunch of different members-only articles written by some of the best FPL managers across the globe, heat maps for all the players and positions, as well as player comparison tools, which will help you see side by side who is going to be more effective for your FPL team, fully customizable stats tables powered by Opta stats, and much, much more. Use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to the Fantasy Football Scout members area today. It'll help improve your FPL game. This video has been sponsored by Manscape, the best in male below-the-waist grooming. Make sure to check out manscape.com so you can see the latest and greatest updates to their lawnmower, as well as their performance package, and much, much more for all their gadgets and gizmos to help keep your family jewels looking as shiny as ever. Make sure to use the code FLAME20 so that you can get 20% off your next Manscaped order, as well as free worldwide shipping. Go check out manscaped.com today.
And that is going to do it for our last preseason video and the conclusion of this preseason's Team Watch series. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Also, drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so you can join us live this season for any of our FPL streams, whether it be deadline, preview, or any impromptu FPL streams will be exclusively over on Twitch this season. And being this is the last preseason video, the next video that you'll see is the VOD, most likely, from our preview stream. You can catch us live, though, if you're looking down in the comment below, be a pinned comment. That'll give you the link and time as to when that stream will be going live over on Twitch. And then every video after that one, it's going to be game week 1 time. So we're getting right into it. It's right around the corner. This Friday coming, game week 1 is live and ready to go. And lastly, make sure to check the link down in the description below for Fantasy Football Scouts members area. All the stats that you saw during this series, as well as on this video, are from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. It'll help elevate your FPL game. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.